What's going on, guys? Welcome back. And today I want to give you guys a little commentary on the current space, the current gaming space, and in my personal opinion, where I see the trend is leaning, and what I've seen, and personally what I experience in my day, my day to day life, with the limited time that I have to game. But it's the entire issue of console gaming, the AAA titles, and the cost of it all. I'm gonna be honest with you. Gaming right now is insanely unaffordable. Regardless of the way that you look at it, it is unreasonable. Like, if you really look at it, if you're buying more than 3 titles a year, that's a lot of money. Because on top of that, most consoles, like unless you're like exclusively a PC gamer, you've gotta get, Xbox Live. I know PlayStation is planning. I think they want to start charging. I could be wrong, maybe it was just a rumor, but I coulda swore I heard that they wanted to start charging for multiplayer online just like Xbox does. That's crazy, right? So, on top of, you're already gonna be dropping 60 if it's just the base for multiplayer. I'm like, but if you got, Xbox Game Pass, all that stuff, it adds up. You just to play, you could be looking at $200 a year, right? If you're getting like higher memberships and stuff like that. On top of that, you've got the cost of the game. So if you're buying 2, 3 games a year, you're dropping anywhere from nowadays 160 to $250 just in the game, not including any additional add-ons, not including any other, you know, um, cases or packs or whatever because there's gonna be that aspect of in-game purchasing and stuff like that. And it's crazy, right? It's crazy. These companies obviously they got to turn a profit. We've got, Rockstar. They're dropping, I think it was what was it, $500 million for GTA 6. Could be wrong. I'll correct it in editing, but like that's an absurd amount of money for a video game, and now they're charging what, $90, $100, something like that for just the base game, and it's getting a little too much, right? I mean, we could see it the platforms, we've got Xbox price hike, PlayStation price hike, like, and then not just that. On top of that, we're seeing these companies have double digit declines in sales. We're having double digit declines in game sales. We're having, the gaming sphere has really shifted on top of cost, right? So on top of bringing these products to market with cost, like it's just it's expensive, man. It really is expensive to be a gamer nowadays. On top of the games, you've got your equipment. Like, 700-800 bucks on an Xbox, that's expensive, right? And I get it. Inflation is a thing, but I'm talking like, what was it? The 360 15 years ago, you can pick one up for, what was it, like 300 and something bucks, just like, so it's like it's an insane amount. And I get it. Times have changed. I understand how all that works, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm like, it's expensive. There's a reason why we are seeing people who are sticking to these freemium titles. We're seeing people play these freemium titles over playing a AAA, studios game that they've got to pay $90 to buy, right? Because it's like you're already gonna get all the packs, all the in-game purchases. That shit's gonna get mashed down your throat anyway. So might as well get the game for free if you're gonna have to, if you're gonna have that all the everything get pushed onto you. So, and I understand on top of that, we have everything going on with AI, we have everything going on with RAM prices, seeing, prices surging, as high as 100% on some stuff. SSDs, almost 50% price hikes from where they were, just earlier this year and last year. And the thing is I'm like, and I understand, like, that's the reason why we're seeing these price hikes in the gaming consoles because of the RAM shortages and storage shortages that we're seeing. So it really tends to be unfortunate that there's a cause and effect to this. But I think if you really start paying attention, there are focuses where the gaming industry is starting to make its changes and starting to kind of shift. And this isn't just in the FPS, first person shooter titles that I primarily play, or the battle royale titles, but in general, we're seeing a huge shift to go to mobile gaming. And I think that's a huge deal in the sense of the mobile gaming industry over the past few years has started to see quite a bit of traction in growth in year over year. They're seeing really really good growth year over year, which I think is something to take account in. And what you guys are watching in the background is actually Combat Masters on my tablet. So this is on an Android tablet, a gaming tablet. Still, this entire setup that I used to play this, I was like, it's still cheaper than a brand new Xbox. And on top of that, I walk away with a tablet that works for doing tablet things, right? So those are things you've got to take into account, right? Because on top of getting your console, you're going to be buying peripherals, headphones, controllers, or if you're on PC, keyboards, mice, monitors, and so on and so forth. So it's like it adds up. But on mobile, there's just a little bit less. And on top of that, a lot of these games run great on what you have in your pocket, on your iPhone, on your Samsung Galaxy, whatever you got. Most of those phones, most of the flagships will play them, and even a lot of the budget phones that people want to call them, right? Those will play these mobile games really, really well. And on top of that, the majority of the time these games are free and they are primarily their primary revenue source is in-game purchases, packs, season passes, all that stuff. But I mean, you're going to be paying for that anyways, right? So I think for me, in my opinion, at least in my life, mobile gaming has really taken over because of the very quick to pick up, put down session type, gaming that I do nowadays. But I think it's just something to keep in mind, right? It's like we are really seeing a huge, a huge shift, right? We're seeing a huge shift from console and PC gaming to mobile gaming, which I think is really kind of good to keep an eye on because with the current prices, like there's gonna be an expectation that these games, at the end of the day, the games that are running on our consoles can probably run a lot better, but they're not being optimized as such. And look at the storage that some of these games take, right? It's like it's ridiculous. You're probably gonna need like almost. It wouldn't surprise me if you need 500 or 600 gigabytes just for GTA 6. And it's ridiculous that's how much space these games are taking to play. It's like some people are gonna only be able to play GTA 6 and nothing else on their Xbox if they have less than a terabyte. I can almost guarantee you they'll be able to have a couple smaller games, but that will be like the only AAA title they'll be able to have, on their Xbox without external storage. And it's sad, honestly, man. It's really sad seeing the gaming industry be like this because it wasn't always like this. And it's like when I go back to play some of these older CODs, now that I'm not playing them on 360 and I'm playing them on PC, you're like, wow, these games look great. Look at the new Black Ops sports for the PS5. I don't know what the storage, current storage that they take up is, but my expectation should be that it should not be more than what the PC takes up because at the end of the day, they look great on PC. I can run those games maxed out on PC and they still only take up 20 to 30 gigabytes. If those games are taking up anything more than 50 or 60 gigabytes, something is like seriously wrong because they should not be. And right now, obviously, as we can see, storage is a huge thing that's very expensive, right? You can't buy storage cheap nowadays. And I don't know. I'm excited. I think mobile gaming is cool. I think it's where the cool kids are going. No, but like really though, it's like I can see that there's a lot of potential there. I can see why a lot of people like to play Roblox still, why they still like a lot of people still play Minecraft. And it's like because a lot of people still play them on their mobile devices as, compared to playing on console or playing on PC. And it's like and I can see that. And it's like I can see where that shift is kind of changing, where it's, it is more acceptable to play games on your phone nowadays, where as before it's like it's not just your Candy Crush anymore. It's not just your, Subway Surfers. Like there's so much variety for what you can do on your handheld or your mobile device. And it's like once we see more optimization like that, I think it's gonna be awesome, right? They just recently released what was it? Um Rainbow Six Siege mobile, right? You got PUBG mobile, you've got Delta Force, Combat Masters, right? And there's just a plethora of Call of Duty Mobile, right? There's just a plethora of games on top of like some games that you'll see ported on mobile that are from ripped straight out of console, and you get similar experiences, right? You get a lot of the side swirlers, Hollow Knight, and there's a lot of gaming that you can do out there, and I think it's really interesting to see. It's really interesting to see the shift, and I think we're gonna see a major shift, especially moving forward with current trends that we're seeing in just the market in general when it comes to like purchasing and maintaining consoles and all that stuff, like, I think a future where your primary gaming device is your phone, it would not surprise me, right? And, like, you can see that in the surge of all these Android handhelds that have been blowing up over the past few, like, past 2 years, I'm gonna say is really when I started putting my eye on, like, keeping my eye on those. It's like these things, they run solid chips, and they're playing a lot of really, like, high-end games, and on top of that, we have the PC Steam emulation scene on Android kinda starting to pick up some steam and start really, being something, and I think that's really cool, man. Like, I think mobile gaming is going to be the next leg of gaming that people were not expecting. I think, I just don't see how a bleeding industry like AAA gaming can keep up with that, right? It's like you'll see these developers push these games out for, sub $10 million that are bringing in 5, 6, $7 million like a day, right? With these mobile titles, because the majority of the time these mobile titles are international titles. There's not as many restrictions, and on top of that, it's easier, right? There's less friction, right? Even if you gotta drop money on a game, it's like you're not dropping 80, $90. You're dropping a couple of dollars. But it's like it's a lot easier to sell somebody $5 of a loot crate or a season pass on their phone than it is to sell them, a $10 season pass after having dropped 90. So I think that's the big thing that I've noticed, and I'm really excited to see in what direction they decide to take, mobile gaming. It's really exciting, and I don't know, just something I wanted to talk about. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.